would you put something together, maybe do a little segment on things that people should be looking to do while they're in Green Bay for the draft? So I've got that article started, and we'll try to highlight it tomorrow on the show for sure. It's a lot of fun, man. There's a lot of things on there that I did my first trip to Green Bay, just a little bit of just it's a really cool exercise to kind of walk through some of the historical sites and all that. But speaking of history, we're going to talk about the very first NFL draft. I don't know if you guys have heard this story, but it is pretty darn cool how the draft got started. Okay, so obviously this is Buckets Goldenberg putting in that extra time.
Buckets Goldenberg with the history lesson.
Mm-hmm. So obviously this was written on March 23rd. I had it in the back pocket, and we've just been so busy breaking down prospects and stuff we haven't got to it. But here's what the article says. As we all prepare to make our way to Lambeau Field next month for the first ever NFL draft in Green Bay, let us take a moment to remember the very first NFL draft along with the Packers' very first selection. So on February 8th, 1936, in a smoke-filled room at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the NFL held its first ever draft. No glitzy stage, no TV cameras, just a handful of team owners scribbling names from newspaper clippings. Literally combing through the papers going, I think we'll give that guy a shot right there. For the Green Bay Packers picking 8th overall, that day marked the start of something special. Their choice, Russ Letlow. Look at this guy right here. He might be writing articles for us. Right?
Here's a guy.
I can't tell if that guy wants to climb in bed with you or fist fight you. You know what I'm saying? That's a weird little stance there, ain't it, Timothy?
I don't mess with anyone that played football without a face mask. So these guys are all tough as far as I'm concerned.
You got that right. So it says Russ Letlow, a burly offensive lineman from the University of San Francisco. He wasn't a headline-grabbing halfback or a Heisman winner, but Letlow became the cornerstone of Green Bay's early draft success, a quiet giant who helped shape a franchise. He goes on to say, born October 5th, 1913 in Dinuba, California. I think I'm saying that right. Dinuba, maybe. Russell James Letlow grew up far from the frozen fields of Wisconsin. He played college ball at USF, obviously University of San Francisco, I believe is what that means. A small program that punched above its weight in the 1930s, a 6 foot, 214 pounds. Letlow was a versatile tackle and guard, though tough, quick, and reliable. His college career caught the eye of Packers coach Curly Lambeau, who saw potential in the unheralded lineman. When Green Bay's turn came in that inaugural draft, Lambeau didn't hesitate, while the Philadelphia Eagles top pick, Jay Berwanger, love the old names, man, famously spurned the NFL. Letlow said yes and delivered. So sometimes teams or players would pass on the draft, obviously, or on the NFL. Letlow joined a Packers squad already on the rise. The team had won 3 championships in the pre-draft era, 1929 to 1931, but the NFL's new talent system gave small market clubs like Green Bay a lifeline against big city rivals. In his rookie year of 1936, Letlow stepped into the trenches and helped the Packers storm to a 10-1-1 record. That season ended with a bang, a 21-6 rout of the Boston, I guess we can say it, right? The Boston Redskins in the NFL championship game, securing Green Bay's 4th title. Letlow's blocking was key, protecting quarterback Arnie Herber and opening lanes for the offensive line. Like how many times have we heard people talk about Arnie Herber, Don Hudson, all these old players, right? And you never hear about some of the unsung heroes. This is the very first draft pick that actually blocked for Arnie Herber. That's absolutely awesome.
He can block.
Exactly right. Look at this guy right here. You kidding me? His breakout came in 1938. By then, Letlow had bulked up to 230 pounds and shifted to guard full time. They said, hey, you're too big to play tackle, sir. We're going to need you in here on the inside at 230 pounds. His strength and technique stood out in an era when linemen were the unsung heroes battling in the mud without the glory of stats or spotlight. Though the Packers fell to the New York Giants in the 38 title game, Letlow's play cemented his value. He'd repeat as an All-Pro in 1939, anchoring a line that powered Green Bay back to the championship, a 27-0 thrashing of the Giants for title number 5. So he actually, this is crazy, he actually played in the trenches alongside Buckets Goldenberg. That's a true story. How cool is that?
They look like they could be brothers.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Everybody had that face you'd be afraid to fire right there, man.
That looks like I'm going to take your lunch money face right there.
Letlow's career wasn't without bumps. A broken leg in 1940 sidelined him briefly, and World War II interrupted his prime.
Sorry.
It's different back then, man.
A different era, right? In 1943, he enlisted in the U.S. Army, serving until 1945. He returned for one final season in 1946, but at 33, his body has taken its toll. He went over to war for Jesus. I mean, that's
good.
Over 7 NFL years, 36 through 42, then back in 46, Letlow played in 71 games, starting 47, and left as a 2-time All-Pro with 2 championship rings. He retired to California, passing away on October 12th, 1987 at the age of 74. For Green Bay, Letlow was more than a player. He was proof the draft could work. While only 24 of the 81 players picked in 1936 ever played in the NFL. Think about that. Only out of 81 players picked, only 24 said, yeah, I'll play. The rest of them are like, I'm not fooling with that crappy pro football. Back then it was different, man, I'm telling you.
Can you get over like the fact that it's like his stat line would be like 5 pancake blocks. He was the rookie of the year. Oh, he had 4 Germans, KIA. And it's like, where did that come from?
And he broke his leg, and he missed a day. He missed one day, and then he came back.
Unbelievable, man. It says Letlow was a hit, validating Curly Lambeau's eye for talent. His success foreshadowed the Packers' knack for finding gems, a tradition that would peak decades later under Vince Lombardi. Today, Lambeau Field's legacy owes a quiet debt to that first pick who helped keep the Packers competitive in the NFL's wild early days. Russ Letlow never sought fame. He didn't dodge the league, didn't dodge a war either, by the way, like Berwanger or Dazzle with stats like a modern star. But in that 1936 hotel room, when his name was called 8th overall, he became the Packers' first draft pick and a linchpin in their history. For a franchise that's since built a mythology of grit and glory, Letlow was the perfect start. Steady, tough, and undeniably Green Bay. How cool is that? There's the I want to say that was the 1930-something championship team. But look at that bunch out there, boys. You kidding me?
I see a new throwback jersey in our midst.
I love it.
That throwback jersey would be sick. I'm just telling
honestly,
you.
it would be cool if we could do it the right way.
It's almost a different color green too, right? It reminds you of the Notre Dame all greens, like it's kind of that Kelly green or whatever it's called. Look right here, though, just to name a few, just off the bat. You can tell that's Arnie Herber right there, right? Let's see if we could call a couple of these out, Tim. There's Don Hudson up here. You see Don?
Yep.
Curly Lambeau back there trying to think which lady he's going to take out to dinner tonight, right?
Where's Johnny Blood?
Is that
Can
Paul?
we find Johnny Blood?
Let's see where's John. There's a couple cut off too, man.
Yeah.
John Victor McNally. Where are you at, sir? I don't see him, Tim. I don't see Johnny Blood in this pic.
Yep, I don't either.
John Victor McNally. 44. Who was 44? Somebody Google. Dude, that's Buckets.
That's Buckets.
That's Buckets right there.
Buckets Hollenberg.
That's the guy who's been
Fresh from the war.
You kidding me? Unbelievable, man. This is awesome, man. Absolutely awesome. Mrs. Green says, I vote the boys do an entire podcast using the old-timey voices. I agree. The only problem is I'm mid-sentence and I crack up every time they do. But,
hey, the dames want to hear it. You got to do what the dames want, right?
Again, guys,
right. It's a baby, Shane.
If you go into the Patreon group, which is the best way to support us, if you want to support the show and keep this silly little show around, just join for $3 a month. You get access to everything on the site. And this is you can go to the collections and there's a history tab. That's where you can find this. And I'm going to continue to add to that. I try not to bore people with it because I know it is boring to a lot of fans, but it's one of my passions is digging through Packer history. It's the reason I fell in love with the Green Bay Packers. It's the same reason I'm a Notre Dame Irish fan. It's like they Curly Lambeau's ties to Notre Dame. Also, I think it was Curly Lambeau's coach at Green Bay before he was the coach at East Green Bay High. He actually played for Newt Rockne as a member of the Four Horsemen, if I remember correctly, or maybe it was vice versa. There's a tie there. Just love the history of football, man. It's so cool. So that's it. Anything else you boys got before we wrap up? Anything at all?
No, that was great, though. Thanks for putting that together.
Absolutely, man. It was a fun episode, dude. We got a lot done here. I'm excited about what we got coming up down the pike too. I think we're going to do a show tomorrow. We'll see how the schedule plays out. I'll go ahead and put the stream up, but there's a chance we don't do a show tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll get one in. and we'll dive in. Do you think should we stretch it into the 5th round with the prospects? You think should we do that?
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah.
Well, I think it'll turn into 8 prospects because it's like the lower you get in the draft, there's a better chance that these guys are going to fall, right? So
That's
it's
honestly not a bad idea. You could spend probably the first half of the show just going through a pool of players around that area.
Yeah, absolutely. Clint in the chat says next giveaway, it's going to be Saturday, an autographed Javon Bullard rookie card. So anyone who is a member of the $3 tier there in the Patreon group, as well as YouTube members. But again, I tell people all the time, like, if I have my choice, I would rather you be a member of the Patreon group because you're getting a lot more bang for your buck. YouTube, you're a member, and we appreciate it. Like Clint here, Clint's actually a member. You see the icon there, right? So he's a member here, and we appreciate that support. For $3 a month, you can cancel that, hop in the Patreon group, and get access to a bunch of other stuff. Have access to our draft board. There's just a number of different things that you got access to. So again,
and that QR code there for the Patreon.
Absolutely. That's where we're hanging out in there. So, all right, that's it. We will see y'all potentially tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central for PTA Live. Thanks, everybody,